Here are 15 of the best Ask Reddit stories for today. I hope you enjoy and remember to subscribe. It really helps us out. We post new videos every day.
What is a massive American scandal that most people seem to not know about? The absolute and cataclysmic failure of the foster care system. The media destroyed Gary Webb's career because he exposed the CIA's connection to cocaine. Newspapers like the New York Times later apologized. Tuskegee syphilis study. It was a 40-year-long study conducted between 1932 and 1972 by the U.S. Public Health Service that involved 400 African-American men with syphilis who were not informed of their condition or given proper treatment in order to study the progression of the disease. The NYC mayor's wife misplaced a whole lot of money and nobody seems to care. Warren Wilhelm, more commonly known as Bill de Blasio, appointed his wife, who then proceeded to lose $850 million at it too. What actor can you not stand? Gwyneth Paltrow. Snake oil shite Schiller. Lea Michele, turns out she's pretty much just as annoying. Earl. How soon people forget Andy Dick. Steven Seagal, but actor is kind of a stretch. Ezra Miller. Jared Leto, takes himself too seriously. Ezra Miller also can go on a crime spree and come out with a new movie apparently. John Wilkes Booth. My fat cat. We put her on a diet and she acts like we starve her. Steven Fat-Ass Faker Seagal. Anyone associated with Scientology. Jared Leto. Never liked him. Not looking forward to him in Haunted Mansion. James Corden. Cara Delevingne. She cannot fucking act. It's so bad it takes me out of a movie. Lena Dunham. She's a nah. Ellen DeGeneres. Jada Pinkett Smith. Gwyneth Paltrow. Who do you irrationally hate for no good reason? Nobody. I have good reasons for everyone I irrationally hate. Those fucking security stickers on CDs and DVDs, and the TikTok text-to-speech voice. People that make an easy yes or no answer into a long conversation. Any of the same three people posted on our white people Twitter every day. I don't even disagree with them, might even strongly agree, but I hated seeing them so much I unsubscribed a long time ago. Wonder if it's still same people. Wheel of Fortune contestants who buy the last vowel. I'll go ahead and buy the AY. You dummy? The word webinar. Can't really put my finger on why. People who walk or drive slightly slower than my preferred speed. Especially if they cut me off first. People who say synergy, in a business meeting, unironically. Everyone, the general population absolutely fucking sucks. Sandra from HR. What is the best Pixar movie? The lamp that stomps on the letter I. I'm so glad they play it before every other movie they make. Monsters Incorporated. For me it's Toy Story, hands down one of my all-time favorite childhood movies. Wall-E. The Incredibles. If they had left it at Toy Story 3, the series would have been perfect. 3 had such a solid final ending. Finding Nemo. Coco. Ratatouille. A Bug's Life is severely underrated. The lessons to be learned about how laborers can and should rise up against oppressors and take the value of their labor for themselves instead of allowing someone else to steal it is timeless. Wall-E. Up. Tie between Toy Story, Up, and Wall-E. That one scene in Cars when Rascal Flatts starts playing always reminds me of the joys and freedom found only in childhood. Inside Out. What ingredient makes pizza taste 10x better? Cheese. Fresh basil. Extra mozzarella. Victory Hand. Oregano. Fresh tomato sauce. Another pizza. Red pepper flakes. When the pepperoni is a little burnt and that curve like a bowl. Chopped garlic. I make sourdough pizza crust from scratch. Eating freshly made sourdough pizza crust is practically a religious experience. Especially since I named my sourdough starter Jesus. He is risen. Thinly sliced garlic. So thin that you can almost see through it. Slice it paper thin, soak it in some olive oil for a day, then take the slices out and mix with some salt to taste. Put it on the top of the pizza while it's baking, and it tastes amazing. Then you can drizzle the pizza with the garlic-infused oil. Salt. A wood fire. Love. Garlic. Mixed herb seasoning. Banana peppers. Jalapenos. A second pizza. Beer. People who never dated in high school. Is there something that you feel like you missed out on or lack now that you are older? Dating. I missed out on experiencing how to talk to women. I had nowhere to learn, so I know nothing of flirting or how to have a conversation that isn't me just treating them like one of the guys. Of course, girls asking me out as pranks when I was in school didn't help me learn anything positive either. Thus, forever alone. Let's say that there are certain social missteps that are more tolerated from a teenager than from someone significantly into adulthood. No, not at all. Maybe the innocence of a teen romance? Nothing significant, anyway. I've always been a late bloomer in life. And I think I'm ultimately all the better for it. Do you believe billionaires are inherently bad? Why or why not? I think hoarding resources beyond a certain point when a lot of people don't have enough to eat, can't afford to go to the hospital, don't have a roof over their heads is immoral. Yeah. What is that point exactly? I don't know. But $1 billion sure seems like it's well over that point. Also God, the people on here caping for literal billionaires are exhausting. As someone who finds it appalling to see people on the street struggling to feed themselves, I cannot imagine having an amount of money where I can help people, without financially burdening myself. The fact that billionaires have more wealth than they could conceivably spend, and society is still crumbling around them means they're only at it for themselves. In a world where money is a resource and many do not have enough to survive, that concentration in a single source is a misallocation of resources. How do you think the Ukraine-Russia war will end? With a lot of dead innocents. Putin will fall out of a window during a special military celebration. One of Putin's close oligarch peers will get fed up by spending money and gets him shot. But that's just an idea. No winners, only losers. Detroit Pistons in 6. I think Russia will run out of money resources eventually. But, they'll keep this up as long as they can. If Putin dies, it might end. I'm not sure how credible the cancer rumors are. In war, whichever side may call itself the victor, there are no winners, but all are losers. Neville Chamberlain. Hopefully, all wars including Ukraine-Russia war will end sooner rather than later, but the sufferings, traumas, losses are horrific already, with hundreds of thousands dead on both sides for no reason other than Putin's ego. What truly has a zero chance of happening? Me losing my virginity. I don't lose, I only win. Any breed of shark becoming a licensed pilot for a major airline. I will never suddenly burst into bagels. Someone proving the Earth is flat. A singular penguin farting itself to planet Jupiter while reciting the inaugural addresses of every US president. Scarlett Johansson walking into my work and saying run away with me. There actually being hot single moms in my area. Reddit user admitting they're wrong. Her texting me back. World peace. And our AskReddit without infinite reposts of the same 10 questions every fucking day. A living person seeing the heat death of the sun. That kid on GTA Online actually doing my mom. Me getting something done at work today. Cats turning into dogs and flying away to become birds. If you could go back in time for a day to witness a historic event, which would you choose? Strasbourg 1518. To witness the event where the whole town succumbed to mass hysteria and danced themselves to death over 2 months. I have always wanted to go back in time to somewhere around 4500 BC and just record the languages being spoken around the world. There are entire fields of research that deconstruct proto-languages of the languages we speak, but those can only go so far back and don't account for all the other languages that got abandoned over time. The only hard part would be choosing how far back in time to go, because humans have speaking languages for a very long time. Assuming I have a safe vantage point on some kind of spaceship, I choose the planetary impact that's believed to have given us the moon. I'd like to see Tenochtitlan before the Spanish destroyed it. What ingredient ruins a sandwich for you? Soggy not fresh tomato. Looking at you Subway. Huge pieces of meat that when I bite, instead of cutting and eating a piece, I eat the whole thing and the rest of the sandwich is left meatless. A piece of lettuce that's a little too brown. Soft, cheap bread that gets soggy with the slightest bit of moisture. This is the one thing that will make me reject a sandwich with revulsion. These are the questions I want to see on AskReddit. Standing with both feet in the lettuce bins with shoes on. If the condiments is not spread right to the edges and in the corners of the bread. Sand. Warm wet lettuce and hot sandwiches. Raisins. Soggy bread. I'd rather starve. Hair. Unless making a grilled cheese, I can't handle the crappy white bread that mushes to the roof of your mouth. Nasty and can't hold anything together. Grilled cheese is the exception. BC the toast ones hold everything together and eliminated the mush. What's your first thought when thinking about Japan? Their flag, actually. Tokyo. Japanese cherry trees in the spring. Ramen. Samurai. I saw an article with a picture of koi fish swimming through their ditches and that's immediately what comes to mind now. Food yummy. Anime. Nintendo. Hello Kitty and Hank Hill's Japanese half-brother, Junichiro, from King of the Hill. Pikachu. Drifting. Bullet train. Hot spas. Anime, ramen, and war crime denial. Godzilla. Suicide Forest. Pokemon. Ninjas. Japao aka Japan powder skiing riding. Deck. Clean country, animation, sushi, seniority. Unit 731. Jav. Clean. Heard people usually don't throw shit on the ground and actually take their trash home, which is really cool of them. Mount Fuji. Anime and perverts. Hiroshima. Amazing food. What's a belief that you hold with which many people disagree? Karma does not exist. You can be the most cruel and depraved person but not pay for it. You can be a pure soul and suffer all your life. It's not anyone else's responsibility to deal with the consequences of your actions and mistakes. I work in the ICU. There is a limit to the amount of stuff that we can and should do to prolong grandma's suffering, and it shouldn't be on the family to decide. Looks do matter, You won't believe how different your life would be if you were ugly or prettier. Being a member of certain professions does not automatically make you a hero. I feel like our world is run less by evil geniuses and more by entitled idiots who get by on luck more than anything. Some people should never be allowed to have kids. You don't need religion to have good morals. Everyone wants the right thing done but doesn't want to be the person that has to do it. No one can really bring you happiness. You have to obtain and find it yourself. What movie's soundtrack is an absolute banger? It follows Into the Wild. My favorite OST ever. How to Train Your Dragon. The OG Pirates of the Caribbean. My friends and I wore out a cassette of the Dumb Dumber soundtrack. The Last of the Mohicans. Romeo Juliet. The Baz Luhrmann one. Prince of Egypt. Oh Brother Where Art Thou? Wayne's World. Tron Legacy. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly Goes Hard ASF. Drive. Hackers. Queen of the Damned. Any of the Lord of the Rings movies. Also, Last of the Mohicans. Pulp Fiction. Baby Driver. The Big Chill. Trainspotting. Lost Highway. Lords of Dogtown. Dazed and Confused. The Lost Boys. Big Lebowski. Trainspotting. Soundtrack was better than the movie and I really liked the movie. Honorable mention goes to Hackers. Dazed Confused. Clueless. What's a deal breaker for you at restaurants? If you go to a Mexican Tex-Mex spot and the chips and salsa are terrible, just pack it up and leave. Nothing will get better. Loud music. I've been in restaurants before where I can't hear myself think, let alone hear people opposite me talk. Edit comments were irritating me, so I amended. The smell when you walk in. If you can smell sewage, mold or excessive bleach or ammonia when you walk in over the food, turn around. No prices on the menu. If I'm going to spend money, I want to know how much I'm going to spend. Just tell me the steak is $40 for fuck's sake. Tables packed closely together to the point where you might as well just be sitting with the strangers next to you. Owners being rude to staff in front of guests. Being super loud. No hand soap in the restroom. Unless staff have their own restroom, no one's washing hands after doing their business in the urinal or toilet.